It's Irene, her new Miata. We're going to be doing the valve cover gasket today. Tools for the job. So you don't have to, but we're going to torque down the valve cover. So I got this Icon torque wrench, 3/8 ratchet, 3/8 extension, 12mm wrench. Preferably you're going to want to use a ratchet wrench, but this is what we got for the job. A 10mm 3/8 socket, gasket sealant. You don't have to use it, but it'll definitely make the job a lot easier. Brake cleaner. Also, make sure you have a rag. Razor blades to clean the old valve cover gasket off. RTV, you don't have to use this red RTV. It's just what we had laying around. It'll do just as good. You can use black. And something to remove hose clamps. First things first, we're gonna remove the spark plug wires and move them to the side. Nice. The next thing you're going to do is pull out this PCV valve. There you go. Kind of just set it to the side. We'll be straight. And now we're going to get this hose off. Awesome. Next thing you're going to do is remove this right here. A good rule of thumb, a good habit is to always put screw back where it was. Therefore you don't lose it, you know?
I don't like really tight, I just like leave it like,
good, yeah.
like this. It's basically good? Okay.
Before you take off the valve cover bolts, remove these 12mm bolts after this pause first. If you do it the other way around, the valve cover may flop around as you remove the 12mm bolts.
There's two 12mm bolts behind the valve cover right there that you're going to need to take off before you take off the valve cover. So this one first.
Oh, okay, I see it now. There we go.
You can probably use your finger now.
There we go. Nope. Okay. Got it.
Then we got this one on this side. Damn.
You see,
I lost my ratchet wrench. I don't know where it's at, but that would have worked a lot better here.
still good. Not everyone has those things, so this is like the tools you're showing are things that, like, you know, maybe a lot of new beginner people when it comes to buying things and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely recommend a ratchet wrench here. Boom, now we got it out. So now what you're gonna do is we're gonna take off these 11 bolts. So 1, 2, 3, we got that one out already. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Mechanic.
Thank God I'm doing this after my birthday. So.
Yeah, but now you should be able to just lift up on the valve cover, make sure everything's out the way. So, don't set it on this back side.
The back side?
Yep. Should have some leaks. We're gonna replace that. Let's take this off of here. Basura. Looks pretty good. Pretty good. And this is what you're going to use the razor blade for. You're going to clean up all around where the valve cover sits at. Make sure it's clear of all RTV, especially those little corners right there. clean it up. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab a nice clean rag. This is decently clean. Spray it with some brake cleaner.
Jesus.
And you're gonna want to clean the surfaces where the valve cover meets with the head. And don't forget where the tube seals are at too. Clean all those areas. Make sure it's nice and clean.
Big difference right there.
Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna want to clean. Make sure there's no RTV all where the valve cover gasket goes. And we're gonna spray it with brake cleaner, clean it up a little bit. Make sure you get your tube seals too. Clean those areas out. And that should do it. This right here is a lifesaver. You don't have to use it, but I'm going to use it because when I flip that valve cover upside down, sometimes the valve cover gasket likes to fall off. So be careful with this. It's very, 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 very messy. I'll show you how to do this real quick. You're gonna put it within the little gaps right here. And don't worry if you make a mess, you can easily wipe it up afterwards, like a rag and some brake cleaner. But this right here creates a good seal for that valve cover gasket. I like it a lot.
Good stuff.
And like I said, you don't have to use this, but if you do use it, I don't know, it makes my job easier, even though I don't got a job. Boom.
Do we do this part
Yep,
too?
yep, we're gonna do those tube seals. Like I said, this stuff's fine if it gets places where you think it shouldn't be. Usually we go with Molly, but Felpro will do. Go ahead and open it. So now you just go ahead and put your valve cover gasket on, and you'll see where it'll have that nice seal. Now we're gonna move on to the RTV part while we let that dry for a few seconds, few minutes, whatever. As that dries, like I said, you don't have to use this one specific. We just got this one. It'll be just fine with the other ones. You can use black. You're gonna put a little bit on your hands. If you can get on your hands. Honestly, if you want to take your gloves off, you can. It's probably easier. It's just a little bit messier.
Yeah, because I can't even, I don't have much control with it.
Okay, so now you're gonna put a little RTV where the cam caps are at in each corner. You're gonna have to put it in 6 areas. Those 2 spots, those 2 spots, and those 2 spots. A lot of people put RTV around the whole gasket. I don't know, I've never done that and I've never had a problem. I've always done it like this. And just a little bit, you don't gotta use a lot. And you can use gloves, but it's probably easier if you just use your finger. You're right, Irene?
Mm-hmm, yeah, more control.
And then that last spot over there. That'll be fine.
Okay.
Awesome. Yep, so make sure you get those spots covered with RTV. You're good to go. And now you put your valve cover back in place. There you go with these.
Nice.
Good job. Right on there. Next day, now just putting the bolts back in. Next, you're gonna go grab those bolts you took out in the beginning and just put them on hand tight at first. Cool. That one. And that one. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use a torque wrench, but you don't have to. You can just do German specs. But guten tight, 43 to 78 inch-pounds. Make sure it's inch-pounds. And this is what we found online, so we're going in that order. So 1, 2. We already did 1, so go ahead and start 2. Clicked, yep. And then now 3. Yep. And I'll put in the description the link to this. Yep, that one. I mean, you don't have to use a torque wrench, like I said. You just get it guten tight. But better safe than sorry. It's just how I feel about it. Yeah, and then just double checking now. Sweet. And with these torque wrenches, you want to always make sure you put it in the off position and make sure it's at its original starting point before you store it. So use that to pinch it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. There you go.
Okay.
It's good. There you go, that's good.
Okay.
Guten tight. Now put that PCV valve back into place. And now put your spark plugs back in.
Is there like a certain order or no?
Yeah, you can tell by length. Like that one, yep. Yes, ma'am. And what you want to do, people don't always do it. With the RTV though, you're going to want to give it 24 hours to dry. But I know some people who don't do that. Completely up to you. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thumbs up. Sweet.